To our very first story, and junior doctors across the nation have begun an indefinite nationwide strike over their unpaid allowances. The doctors say their allowances have not been paid for the past 9 months, hence their decision to embark on the strike. Now, according to a statement by the junior doctors, government has failed to address their concerns, ranging from the non-payment of salaries to providing them with staff identification numbers and having them biometrically registered. Now, joining me on the line now is President of the 2014 year group of junior doctors, Michael Mensah Boateng. Mr. Boateng, good morning. Thanks for joining us on News Today.
Good afternoon.
All right. Good afternoon indeed. Indeed. So you are on this nationwide strike. Exactly why so? Well, we are told in your statement that it's because of your salary arrears. That aside, what else is the reason?
Can you come again?
Yes, I'm asking. Apart from your salary arrears, what are the other issues you've raised?
No, we have embarked on this industrial action basically because of our salary issues. Nothing more, nothing less. We are not seeking for any allowances or increments in pay. We have worked for 9 months and we have not been paid. So that's exactly what we have. There is the reason behind our industrial action.
Hello?
Yeah, that's the reason behind our industrial action.
Okay.
It's purely our salary, non-payment of our salary. 9 months salary.
All right. So is a nationwide thing you are embarking upon now, I suppose?
Yes. We are junior doctors, house officers, who completed last year in June, and they started working in 2014. So all those who started working in September 2014 are the ones embarking on strike. So if you go to any hospital and you see any house officer working, you ask the person whether he is for 2014 year group, September. You have junior house officers, you have senior house officers. So basically the junior house officers who completed in 2014 June and started working September 2014, we are about 170 nationwide. Some are in Chief Teaching Hospital, some have original hospital, Temajina 67, and other hospitals.
Have you put your grievances across to government?
Yeah, we brought up our issues against the
and what has been the response from government?
Yeah, the usual promises up and down that, oh, wait, we are going to be paid. It even came up that the Deputy Minister of Health on one platform, media platform, said we are going to be paid by the end of September. So it was our amazement to wake up on the 1st of June to realize we were not even part of the payroll. So it's because of this that we have to embark on this industrial action.
So you're saying it's indefinite. What will it take for you to go back to your posts?
Our full 9 months salary. Full 9 months salary.
We are told that the government has made some payments, not the full payment, but government has made some payments which are yet to hit your accounts. Would you not consider that and go back to your post?
No, because initially this action that we have taken was not meant for even the end of May. It was meant for the end of even April. But we were, because of the assurance the government gave us, we had no other reason to just allow the government to operate in that way. So this time around, we are not going to hit to any promises again. This is our full 9 months salary we are looking for. So if the government should pay us right now as we are speaking, at this very moment you go to work.
Has there been any correspondence between yourselves and government since you embarked on this strike action?
Not really. We haven't had any official reply from the government. Okay. We haven't had any official reply from the government. So we started yesterday, 8 a.m., and I think the news is now making headway. So probably, yeah, just waiting to get something from the government.
All right. Thank you very much. There, so that was Michael Boateng. He's the president of the 2014 year group of junior doctors. Now, pressure group Occupy Ghana has threatened to sue government over the gender scandal, along with a tall list of demands on the Ministry of Youth and Sports as well. Now, the group says the investigative report on the scandal, occasioned by serialized Joy News reports exposing corruption and plain stealing at the agency, requested the ministry to take some steps. Occupy Ghana is asking the ministry to supply it with information regarding what steps it has been taking since the release of the report in 2013. A member of the group, Ace Ankuma, has been speaking on Joy FM's Super Morning Show.
Look, the first thing is that this NYEP/GIDA thing wasn't set up under any act of parliament. So it transcends the two governments that we are looking at here. But essentially, what was the seed fund for NYEP/GIDA? It was CST, Communication Service Tax. So when you pick your phone to call, when you send a text message, when you are browsing, the tax that you pay was used to set this up. Now, under the Constitution, all state revenue must first go into the Consolidated Fund. And releases from the Consolidated Fund are regulated by the Appropriation Act that Parliament passes. It is mandatory. In fact, some funds are allowed to bypass the Consolidated Fund, but only when Parliament approves it. Yes. Now, 136 million of your tax monies and mine were taken out, public funds, given to NYEP/GIDA without going through the Consolidated Fund or getting an act of Parliament omitting it from going through, excluding it from going through that process. And so, basically, the seed funds that were paid out were illegal. So GIDA was set up with funds that were illegally given to it to manage. There was no act of parliament, no appropriation act, no constitutional process, no consolidated fund. 136 million plus of your CDs and mine were taking our public funds and given to GIDA. Now, you see, when you poison the tree, the fruit will be poisoned. Mm-hmm. And often, when you see instances where the government seeks to circumvent laid-down procedure, you know that there's something in the soup. Now, for 2012, that's the first bit. So we're asking the government, show us the parliamentary approval. Where is the act of parliament that permitted you to take 136 million of our monies and give to this entity which had not been established under the act of parliament to manage on our behalf? That's item number one. Item number two. Then in the 2012 appropriation bill, the government then says that GIDA will be given 20 million cedis as the budget. Now now you are giving the people 136 million behind the scenes, but you provide a budget of 20 million cedis. Very well, which means that they are limited to 20 million cedis for goods and services for that year. Procure everything. Because under the Constitution, if you want to exceed your budget, then you go back to Parliament for approval with a supplementary estimate, and Parliament approves it. Now, with that,
Supreme Court Judge nominee Justice Yawapel is blaming poverty for citizen agitations against the ex gratia payments to top public officials. Now, he's suggesting the establishment of an independent body to review the issue and make appropriate recommendations. Justice Appeal was responding to questions before the Appointments Committee of Parliament. Correspondent Elton John Bobby joins us now with more. So, Elton, what other issues have come up at Justice Appeal's vetting?
Well, he spoke about a number of issues. He spoke about the role of government in the affairs of the Ghana Football Association. He also spoke about the fact that there should be flexibility in the retirement age of justices of the Supreme Court. He is of the view that the mandatory 70 years set out in the Supreme Court, set out in the Constitution for the Supreme Court judges to retire, they have to be taken a second because by he think that judges should be discretionary in their retirement, that when they feel that after age 70 they don't have the energy to move on, that they can move out. But he's of the view that at age 70 and beyond, some may have acquired a lot of experience which may help in their judicial decisions. So the 70 years mandatory retirement period set out in the Constitution must be looked at if you want to get the best out of the lawyers. But he wants to put that issue before the judges for them to use their own discretion to tell whether beyond age 70 they can still do it or they should step aside. He also spoke about the death penalty, and he's made it clear that he is against the death penalty in our searches group. He thinks that the death penalty as we have it in our criminal jurisprudence is, unchristian. He thinks that the Bible makes it clear on this particular issue that vengeance is of the Lord. He is of the view that instead of sentencing people to death, there should be a mechanism where such persons can be sentenced to serve a number of years in prison. He thinks that God should be allowed to determine the fate of individuals, because sentencing them there will be against the 10 commandments. That's according to him in response to this particular issue. On the issue of the Ghana Football Association, remember there's been concerns about whether government has the right to go into the affairs of the Ghana Football Association in relating to public funds that are always advanced to them. Now, he thinks that even though the GFA is a private institution, so long as they manage the national team on behalf of the state, and because they also use state resources to fund the national team, at some point they have to be made to account for such money. And he doesn't see this as interference, even though he is against interfering in the affairs of the Ghana Football Association. He thinks that when public money is advanced to the Ghana Football Association, Ghana as a state, Ghana as a corporate institution must be able to go into how the money was spent, and so that there should be that kind of accountability. There's also been, he actually spoke about what he's done so far in his career as a judge, all the way from the High Court to the Appeals Court. He spoke about the fact that he ruled on the involving some people who are alleged to have murdered Yana Yakubu and Danny II in 2001. And he told the committee that he only ruled on the issue based on the facts that were presented to him as a judge who sat on that particular case. He also spoke about his ruling after the stadium, Accra Sports Stadium disaster, in which some policemen were targeted for manslaughter. They appeared before him, and at the end of the day, they were free. So those are some of the issues that he spoke about so far. They are not getting into the substantive issues, that is raised, and the person is currently ongoing. But these are the issues that I spoke about for now.
All right, Elton, thank you very much. But just before you go, what's the atmosphere in the vetting room like now?
I want to believe that, this is a senior person within our legal system, and I get a sense of some kind of being accorded so much respect by members of the appointment committee. Usually when they sit to vet ministers' nominees, you see the way they vet them, the kind of questions that they put before them. But in this particular case, I'm seeing a more of a friendly fire between members on the appointment committee and the nominee.
Okay, all right. Now, and finally, let's talk about the other vetting that will be going on. Is there any other vetting going on today, or it has to be another day?
No, remember the president nominated just 2 individuals for now, Jawapo and Mr. Gabriel Palman, the former General Secretary of the PNC. Justice Jawapo is being vetted today, and that will be over today after that. And then tomorrow, Wednesday, Gabriel Palman, the former General Secretary of the PNC, also take his stand before the appointment committee files.
All right. Parliamentary correspondent Elton John Bobe, thank you so much for your time there. Now, moving on to some security issues, and one person has been shot dead at Nkonya Ahinkro in the Volta region. The man, believed to be in his mid-50s, was gunned down by unknown assailants, and the deceased was working on his farm yesterday morning when he was shot. Now, while some have linked the incident to a dispute in the locality, Paramount Chief of the town, Nana Okoto Kofi III, tells Joy News the shooting is not in any way linked to the dispute between the people of Nkonya and Alavanyo. Let's go live to the Volta region and speak to the police on this issue. I'm joined on the phone lines now by Hohoy Divisional Police Commander Superintendent Joseph Entry Joe, who joins me now over the phone. So, Superintendent Joe, what information have you picked on this incident through your independent investigations?
Hello, you are not clear. Come in loudly.
Yes, I was asking, what information have you picked up so far in the course of investigations?
Yesterday, around 6:30 hours, one of the suspects from Nkonya Ahinkro was shot dead. So police were informed, and we went there and see the body. So our government mortuary. The postmortem was done for them, and then at the moment, I think the situation is calm because we have enough policemen and military men over there. So we are only looking for the cops. Those who did done in no crime. Promise will get them. That's the information now.
Have there been any arrests made so far? I mean, between yesterday and today, has the police managed to make any arrests? And if you could speak up a bit for me, I was finding it difficult hearing you earlier, sir.
Considering what, sir?
Yes, I was asking whether or not there has been any arrest between yesterday and today.
At the moment, no. We are still investigating. You know, it happened about 3 kilometers from the town, so in the bush, when he was going to his farm. So we are in touch with family members and other people around to help us, including you, the media. So it also helps us so that this mayhem will stop.
Now, some have linked this particular incident to a dispute or a feud between Nkonya and Alavanyo.
Speak loudly.
Yes, can you hear me now, sir? I'm saying some have linked this particular incident to a dispute between Nkonya and Alavanyo. Others have disputed that. In fact, the chief of the area has also disputed that. Could this be a result of? Could this be a reprisal attack?
Reprisal attack, I cannot tell the reprisal attack, but what we have noticed that anytime there's a shooting incident on the other side, definitely something also has to happen on the other side. So to you, we can see, or the police, we can definitely it is a reprisal attack, what do you call it? But one thing is that we should know that it is the Nkonya and Alavanya themselves have to call a spade, and then see to it that things are resolved. Because nobody is coming to solve the problem unless they themselves come out and say enough is enough. Because we cannot entertain all these things. About 92 years ago, why? All these years, why?
So indeed, this particular murder is as a result of the dispute.
Pardon?
So indeed, this particular murder is as a result of the dispute.
You are asking whether it's because of the dispute?
Yes, indeed, I'm asking.
We are still investigating. See, what happens is that where the dispute is not happening at the dispute area. That's the problem now.
Okay.
The dispute area is there, and so they are still causing mayhem at the other side there. So I cannot say it is because of the conflict, but somewhere along the line, we can also assess.
Okay.
So it is them, the Nkonyas and the Alavanyans, they themselves have to say that enough is not that we have to put an end to this fighting. It will not bring any benefit to them.
All right.
Now we're all of them are eager for development. Look at what is happening now.
Chief Superintendent Jehu, thank you so much for your time on Joy News today. That was a Hohoi Divisional Police Commander, Chief Superintendent Jehu there. Now, it's been over 31 years and many lives have been lost and property destroyed in a protracted conflict between Konkombas and Bimobas in Nakanduri. Now, the protracted conflict was over a parcel of land, but now peace has returned to the area and the lost friendship between the two factions has been restored.
Chief of Nakanduri, David Kansuk, says the people have resolved to construct a school on the disputed land and report all troublemakers to the gods.
All those who lost their lives will dig a hole and then put the weapons, say cudgels, cutlasses, spears, and guns, old guns, inside the hole. And then each side, the Kunkuma side, will come with a fowl, a red cock, a goat, and then a dog. And the Buma side also brings the same. Then we will slaughter these animals and then the fowls and bury the blood there. Then that signifies that is the sealing of all manner of hostilities between the Bimobes and the Kunkumbes. After the blood burial, we now swear to live in peace with one another, and that anybody who in any point in time tries to bring any confusion again, then the gods of the land will mete out justice to that particular tribe.
As in the gods of the land will kill that person?
Yes, yes.
And how will the gods of the land do that?
We believe that when you knowingly bring any conflict again, then you will suffer so much. That is our belief, that the gods of the land will now visit upon you all the difficulties that you will never dream of getting.
Over the weekend, the two ethnic groups performed what they called the blood-bearing ceremony to mark the end of the conflict. Mr. Kansuk also speaks of how the Joy News Hotline documentary, Bloody Land by Seth Kwame Boateng, influence their decision to end the violence.
I told our people, if we want to erase this from the minds of people, that the country is regarded as a burning land, then we must all put our hands on deck and see to it that this conflict is solved once and for all. So nobody ever gets any opportunity to say that Nakanduri is a burning land. And I think that caption actually played a role, even though it was very bitter. But when I said, yes, I don't want this caption ever to take front stages, my people took it up. And they said, yes, we want to demonstrate to the whole world that we are peace lovers. So the documentary actually played a role. If not for that documentary, I think people have been dragging their feet, you see, and this conflict would have been allowed to drag for some time. But this documentary came and then made people to wake up to their responsibilities, it made people to wake up to the challenges that we're having on hand. So the documentary was very good.
A 65-year-old security man has been gunned down by robbers in the Upper West region. The incident happened around 4 a.m. today at a CHIPS compound facility at Nakanduri in the Wa municipality. Let's get more from our regional correspondent, Rafiq Salam, who now joins us over the telephone. So, Rafiq, what really happened? Can you tell us much more about what really happened?
According to the death involved, her name is Comfort Sun Yaodong. She was sleeping at a CHIPS compound around 4:30 a.m. when she heard some noise and a struggle between the suspected robbers, numbering about 2, and then the watchman named Abdurrahman Isaku, popularly known as Ashanti. So the struggle ensued because they wanted to enter the CHIPS compound, and this 65-year-old man wouldn't allow them to enter. And so there was a struggle, and that was what she heard. And then when she came out, she shouted, and then the robbers bolted. But before they bolted, they shot at the watchman. They shot at his arm, and the whole arm was mutated. And then also part of the pellet also hit the right side of the chest. And so the man fell on the ground, and he lies in prostrate in a pool of blood. And so the police came there this morning, and they took him to the hospital where doctors confirmed him dead, and he's now currently at the Wa Hospital morgue.
Thank you very much, Rafiq Salam, for that update. Thanks for staying on. Now, the Emena, MA and Ohimasi basic schools in the Ashanti region have been closed down. Now, this is because government owes the contractor 169,000 Ghana cedis. Now, the school children have had to move their desks under a tree for academic work. My colleague Prince Apia has been speaking to school authorities and the contractor on the issue.
Firm, which is Team Consult, told me that they had an agreement with KMB in 2012, and the agreement was that they had to build 3-unit classroom blocks for the Ohimasi MA, B, and then the Emena MA basic schools. So he did that. He completed a project in December 2013, and after completing the project, he only received an amount of 10,000 Ghana cedis out of the 169,000 Ghana cedis that they agreed on. And since that time, he's been shuttling the RCC, the KMA for his money, and they always give him excuses. And as of this morning, he tells me that his bankers have been on his neck for a long time, and he's taking loans, and he has to, pay these loans. So as a result, he decided to go to these schools where he built these structures to close them. With that, he feels that the KME will definitely restore his feed.
The office of the new Patriotic Party's General Secretary, Kwabna Ejay Japan, has been ransacked. Now, computers and some office stationery have also been destroyed. It's unclear who or what must have orchestrated the act, which supposedly happened last week. Pius Enam Hajide is an aide to the NPP's General Secretary, Kwabna Japan.
We understand that this incident happened last week, Friday, when when Nana Akufo-Addo called for a ceasefire. At least that is the belief of sources close to Kwabena Agyapong. It is not clear exactly the day it happened, but we know that since the unfortunate passing away of Upper East Regional Chairman Adams Mahama, Mr. Kwabena Agyapong and his aides, his office staff, have not been to the office. And information we have gathered from, again, sources close to Kwabena Agyapong is that they only went to that particular office yesterday, and when they got there, they realized that the office had been ransacked.
Yes, I can confirm that the secretariat of the General Secretary has been broken into and vandalized. We are still assessing the extent of damage, but yes, I can confirm that property sectors, computers, laptops, there's a television in the secretariat, the file cabinet were vandalized. Yes, I can confirm that.
When did you get wind of this information? How did you know that, your offices have been broken into, particularly since you were told you weren't in the offices, you've not been to the office for some time now. So how exactly did you know?
Well, we picked intelligence that that had happened, and we dispatched men to get confirmation and take pictures. And so, as of this morning, we have evidence that the vandalization has actually occurred.
Oh, that's aide to General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, Pius Hajide. Earlier, you heard my colleague Kwachi Afre Nyama of our political desk. Now, former First Lady Nana Akufo-Addo has called on Ghanaian musicians not to only sing about love, women, and the likes, but also to try to sing about some of the challenges in the country.
The Akosua at 25 concert held at the Accra International Conference Center Saturday was to celebrate 25 years of Akosua Agyapong's contribution to Ghana's music industry. Former First Lady Nana Akufo-Addo in an interview shared her thoughts on how the Ghanaian music industry has improved and grown over the years. She, however, called on musicians to also try to sing about the difficulties in the country, stating how happy she was about the recently held #DoomSommerStop vigil led by actress Yvonne Nelson.
I think they're doing very well, and they need to be encouraged, really. But sometimes they need to also sing about the difficulties in the city, in the country, so that they bring our minds to the problems that are affecting us. So that's why some of us were very happy when some of the artists or actors were going to do this demonstration and so on. Sarkodie and some of the others, they really sing about difficulties. You have Akosua Agyapong and Becca singing about women's issues, and sometimes they fear also. I think these are very commendable.
She also added that the economy must be fixed to enable our musicians and other entertainers work easily.
I think that the arts and music actually advance better when there's a good economy. So we should fix the economy so that the artists can actually work in an environment that gives them that, impetus to move it.
Meanwhile, patrons of the Akosua at 25 concert were thrilled to good music on the night.
Now we are told that there is actually a press conference ongoing at the Communications Ministry, where the Transport Ministry is actually having that press conference together with the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority and the various driver unions in the country. Let's get some updates now from our reporter on the ground. Emmanuel joins us live over the telephone with some updates. So, Kemini, what has been happening at this particular press conference?
Well, essentially, the DVLA, together with the Ministry of Transport, have been reacting to some of the concerns the Commuter Drivers Association raised yesterday. These concerns are to do, I'm sure you have told our viewers already, with the seatbelts. That's what the DVLA is saying with the seatbelts, that the enforcement of the law on seatbelts has not started. And so if you're a driver of a commercial vehicle, it doesn't mean if you're driving out of the lorry stations now and you don't have seatbelts for your passengers, you'd be arrested. What is happening now is rather the fitting. And so they can go and get their seatbelts fitted at the licensed garages by the DVLA. The other concern had to do with acquiring and renewal of licenses. The driver said that they needed to go through a training and testing system through the driving schools to be able to acquire and renew their licenses. Now, the DVLA is saying that is required of them to be able to do that. They also claim that there are some driving schools that operate in local languages, and the drivers should be able to go to those schools to be able to gain some sort of knowledge on road regulations. Now, they are concerned really, the DVLA does this, is for new entrants. So if you want to be a commercial driver now, you need to be able to read and write. For the old drivers, you would only encourage them to do. If they are not able to, they will still get their license. But for new entrants, if you want to be a commercial driver now, you should be able to read and write. Now let's talk about the association itself, the Committed Drivers Association. The DVLA says this is a group we do not know. Why is the DVLA saying that? The DVLA gives the impression that there's been a lot of consultation with the two driver unions they know, which is the Road Transport Council and the GPRTU. And so for this group to come up and have this sit-down strike makes it look like there hasn't been any there hasn't been any consultation with the drivers. It would only encourage them to come up to the DVLA with their concerns. But he would also want to assure them that no enforcement is going on at the moment.
Were there any members of some of the unions, the driver unions, I must say, were some of them present, and what has been their reaction to these statements?
And you see, that is the twist of the news conference. Somewhere along the line, the moderator asked if there was a representative of the Committed Drivers Association here. Nobody responded. And so we flew back to them. Did you invite them? And there was no response from the other side now. You can only draw your conclusions that these people were not invited to the news conference of that.
All right. Kemini, thank you very much for that update. That's Kemini Nyamani Amano reporting live from the Communications Ministry here in Accra. Taking a break, and when we come back, we have some business stories for you. Stay with us. To our very first business story today, and a member of the Parliamentary Committee on Mines and Energy and Member of Parliament for Damongo, Adam Mutawakilu, says the implementation of the advanced form of deregulation of the petroleum sector on June 15 will ensure efficiency and competitiveness of the oil marketing companies. Now, speaking on the AM show, Mr. Mutawakilu added this will also remove the politics of petrol.
That means that free to set your own prices, government do not provide subsidies. So this is going to bring about competition and efficiency. Because at the end of the day, it benefits the final consumer because it brings about competition. And competition brings about what? Efficiency. And we think that it is time to bite the bullet than to always bring petroleum issues into politics too much. And I think it is in the right direction. Importers will bring their product, sell to the general public without so much intervention from the National Petroleum Authority. Because this has resulted into so many BDCs saying that the government owes them as a result of under-recovery, and it leads to fuel shortage. Also, MPA will ensure that you don't just bring anything as a regulator. They have to ensure that you import quality products and you don't import products that are banned. So that is another aspect MPA, National Petroleum Authority, will do. It doesn't just mean that you just leave everybody, bring whatever you want to bring. No. They will ensure that you bring the right product.
Meanwhile, President of the Oil Marketing Companies, Kweku Ajimendua, says full deregulation of the petroleum sector will reduce shortages experienced in the past due to debts owed BDCs by government. He also noted consumers will be the final beneficiaries as they will benefit in price reduction when global prices also go down.
Oh, well, I think, you know, we have been champions of deregulation since 1996. We have been, because we realize that it's more sustainable than the current framework that we have working. So I think it's a step in the right direction. Obviously, if you implement something like this, you may have some few challenges, but you have to deal with the challenges and make sure that because a lot of countries are doing it. And for us, I think it's an opportune time for us to be able to handle it.
But to you, as oil marketing firms, what would be the advantage of deregulation as a policy if it's implemented fully in Ghana?
Simple. The advantage is that we will not have hiccups like shortages as a result of forest losses, as a result of government not paying subsidies. So fuel will be there every time anybody needs it. I mean, you witnessed what happened in Nigeria last week. And basically, if we don't do anything, we are going to gravitate into that direction. So, you know, in every policy which comes out, there will always be a safety net. In countries where they have done full deregulation, there's always safety net for the vulnerable. And I believe this one will also have something in that context. Remember that recently when the prices were going down, people never had the benefit because government said we were putting some money in down there so that...
Well, because we were owing. We had piled up debts.
We were owing, and you have to go there. If we're in the deregulation sector, full liberalized economy, you will see the prices going down further because there's competition among... We have about 120 OMCs. Can you imagine? There's no way for cartelism, and all that we have is competition, and the consumer will be the best beneficiary.
Let's talk about cocoa now. And the International Cocoa Organization has downgraded Ghana's cocoa production for this season by 22%. The organization is the latest to raise concerns about the country's output after similar complaints of a disappointing crop season by international manufacturers and traders. The low yield has been blamed on poor weather and low fertilizer application, but the International Cocoa Organization believes there may be more to it. The organization says it is yet to get a definite explanation for the shortfall, even though factors like strong harmattan wind, inadequate rainfall, late application of fertilizers, and the curtailment of a government spraying program have been cited as hurting production in Ghana, the world's second largest cocoa producer. Tuesday's rain has caused flooding in parts of Accra. Now, a drive-through town shows some streets inundated with excess water and electrical wires hanging loosely, posing danger to passers-by.
It's another rainy day in Accra, and as usual, we are going around town to see what it could cause. You can see right behind me, we are currently at Kolebu Junction. The junction, if you go that way, you go in towards Circle, and if you go this direction, you go in towards Accra. But really, the street is accumulating enough water that would definitely cause flooding later on in the day if it continues to rain at this rate. Well, we are asking the question, what is really coming out of the cleaning that happens every month? Well, I'm already getting drenched in the rain, so let me get off the rain. But we're going around town and we'll bring you a lot more of the sites of the possible flooding areas that we are likely to be reporting on later on in our subsequent bulletins. We are still going around town to find out the kind of havoc the rain could be causing to the city. Right now we are here at Adedenko here in Accra, and this behind me is an exposed electrical cable that is posing threats to residents and children. And just a couple of days ago, a little boy was electrocuted by it, as well as a goat. We are coming here to observe how dangerous it is still to the residents here. And we have these little boys who were just passing by it. Want to find out, do you know about what is over there?
Please, it is an electric, but small time then it is doing something. It is we can do it then.
You see lights out.
Then fire too, then it is burning. Then you go and call someone, then you come and do it.
I want to see your face, so raise your umbrella a bit for me. So now talk to me.
So please, we want the government to come and do it for us. So small time then it is burning, so we can't sit at here. So we want the government to come and do it for us.
But when you are passing by it, aren't you afraid?
Yes. Yesterday, 3 days today, you see that it's bombing, boom, but we can't stay on here, so we want the government to come and do it for us.
Okay. Yesterday, I'm told that one of your friends was hurt by it. Tell me about what happened to your friend.
That time then it's passing around, then it fall down, then it's this place. His former head hit on the stone, then it ate.
So when you're walking by it, be careful you don't hurt yourself or you get electrocuted, okay?
Yes, please.
So you heard it from the little boy, the danger this exposed electrical underground cable is posing to them as well as the elderly right here in Adedinko here in Accra.
Well, the downpour has also ripped off the roofings of some structures at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. The situation is said to have compelled patients at the orthopedic theatre to be moved to other units of the hospital. Let's get the latest from our reporter on the ground, Hannah Odami. So, Hannah, what's the latest on this?
I've been able to get more inside information. I have still not been able to get inside there, but I have a doctor friend who managed to tell me exactly what happened there. You know, it was not the entire roof that was ripped off. There were portions of it that we are told that there were cracks in there. And they said, according to them, they have reported it to the authorities several times. And so when it rained, that place got soaked with the rainwater. And because there were leakages on the walls of the recovery and orthopedic theaters, what they had to do was bring in an engineer, and he broke that part open, the part that was slipping, and so there was a splash, a gush of water that came out of that place, and it flooded the whole orthopedic theater and recovery ward. That's how come we saw the orderlies sweeping the water away. What we are told is by the PRO of the hospital is that the place has been cleaned, and tomorrow they will see work ongoing. However, other nurses also at the place keep telling us that the water is still dripping and there is no end in sight as of now, unless they come to patch the places that are leaking up, because they have buckets in there that are collecting the rainwater as we speak right now. Some of their machines they have to change the directions because the rain just kept coming. The drippings from the rain just kept coming, and they were pouring on them. We are told the mattresses they are covered in leather, so they are not so soaked, but they were wet. So this is what we have been able to pick as of now. We are still trying to see whether I'll be able to get in there and get shots of the roof that is leaking.
Earlier, Hannah, briefly just before you go, earlier you told us about the patients being taken out of that facility and being moved to other facilities. Where exactly are they now?
Yes, the accident and emergency has 3 surgical wards, and so they've been taken to the other ones. Bear in mind that Kolebu is a bit congested, so if they've been taken to the other theaters, it means that place is also congested. That's how come we saw some of the patients lying outside because they did not have anywhere to sleep. The place was choked. The place was choked.
Okay.
So
Odami, thank you very much for that update. Odami is my colleague right here joining us. But please send videos or pictures of the floods in your area to our WhatsApp number 0540 109009. That's 0540 109009. What we are gathering now is that some persons have apparently drowned in this morning's downpour. We'll be bringing you much more on this particular one in subsequent broadcasts. Indeed, there are some pictures coming up shortly. Indeed, yes, we are told some persons have actually drowned in this particular flooding. And like I mentioned earlier, we'll be bringing you much more in our subsequent broadcasts. Do stay on at 3 p.m. for the Pulse. But before we go, a quick recap of our top stories here on News Today. Now, Tuesday's downpour causes flooding and death here in Accra. Supreme Court Judge nominee Justice Yawapeu has blamed poverty for citizen agitations against the ex-gratia payments to top public officials. For some roofs at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital have been ripped off following heavy rains Tuesday morning. Junior doctors in parts of the country have also embarked on a strike to protest delays in their 9-month salary arrears. But that's it for the bulletin. For more news, do all to log on to myjournalline.com. My name is Kobna Chencheni Boating. Have a good afternoon.